Greetings, my name is Paul, and I am the lead research technician here at the How to Linux Research Labs, and I'm also the administrator of the Pop! OS Linux Facebook group on Facebook. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade Flatpak from 1.14 to 1.16 on Pop! OS Linux 22.04. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so here's my POP installation here. I'm going to pop open my terminal and show that I'm actually in a POP environment, POP 22.04, okay? And we're going to install the newly released Flatpak command line engine runtime. Well, the Flatpak command line engine, I guess, 1.16, which just came out. And if you'll check your version, you're probably going to be on 1.14.6. So the new version is 1.16. So yeah, it's a couple of ticks newer. Now, if you want to wait for the new version to hit the POP repos, you can do that. I don't know how long it'll take, but if you want to have Flatpak 1.16 right now, then follow my instructions and you'll be on Flatpak 1.16. Okay, so we're clear on that. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit involved here, not too much though. Just follow along, and I've already done it, so I know it'll work on my system. And hopefully, if you can just recreate it on your system, you can be on Flatpak 1.16 as well. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is install some developer tools, which I have in my editor here. You might need more. I'm not sure what you have or don't have on your system, but this is what worked for me. So I'm going to just copy everything here, and I'm going to paste it into the terminal. Okay, can't do a Control V, got to do a right click. Okay, and I'm going to have to do some cleaning up here. I don't need that tilde there. I'm going to arrow all the way over to the top here and clean this up here real quick, okay? And then sudo. Okay, so you can pause the video here if you want, key all these in, and then see if there's anything else that your system is missing. Otherwise, hopefully this will be enough to cover your needs. Now, I already have these installed, so it's probably not going to really prompt me or have any kind of an error. It'll just say everything's installed already. So you can pause the video here, take a look, key them all in, and then when they're all keyed in, enter like I just did right now. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Everything is already, it's going to just tell me everything's already the newest, everything's already installed. There was a couple things I had to actually install that weren't part of the initial batch, like these last two here. But once I added these last two here, everything went through and everything worked. It installed everything, and this was enough for me to get Flatpak 1.16 installed on my system. Okay, so you come down here. Okay, everything looks good there. So again, just get this batch installed, and we can move on to the next step once we have those developer tools installed. Okay, so we can clear on that. Okay, so we've downloaded the developer tools. Okay, so we've gotten that part out of the way. Next thing I want to do is go to the Flatpak GitHub repo and find your way to the code is underlined here, but go to the releases, I guess, is where you want to go more specifically, to the releases tab here. Anyway, scroll down here. I didn't try it with these other source code files here. I use this one here. I guess these would work with the same commands I'm going to do. I'm not sure, but I'm going to just go ahead and download the tar file that I downloaded before when I experimented with it. Flatpak 1.16 tar.xz. Okay, good. So I don't already have it installed or downloaded. I don't need to show you, but take my word, I don't already have it downloaded. Okay, so I'm gonna left click on that. Okay, that was a quick. See, this is the one from before, but I already removed it, and I just downloaded it again. So there's only one copy. Okay, so we downloaded the tar file, and let's take a quick little look, try to spot it here in the download folder. Let's see where it is here. Okay, I have 14 already, but I just downloaded the Flatpak 1.16 tar file here. And you can see there's no 1. So this is the only one. This is 0 or 1 or whatever. This is the only one of 1.16. Okay, good. So I've downloaded the tar file. Can clear on that. Go back to my home. Now when I extract it, I want to extract it to an actual custom folder, not just dump it into my download folder or into whatever folder it's going to be shipped with. So I always like to make my own folder that I can dump the extracted contents into. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a make dir command here. And let's see, this should work here. Make dir Flatpak. Okay, good. Clear on that. And let's spot that folder real quick that I just created. Okay, right here. And it should be empty, but that wasn't there before. So when I extract the contents of the tar file, I'm going to redirect it into this Flatpak, and then cd into here, and then run some additional commands on how to actually build it and install it. Okay, good. Okay, so we can clear on that. cd back into my download folder. Okay. Clear on that. Okay, and then the next step I'm going to do, I'm going to extract that tar file and I'm going to redirect it into that Flatpak folder. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this command here, sudo. I'm going to use tar, and I'm going to pass that tar file into here so that it can extract the contents. I need a couple of flags here. Extract, verbose, file, okay. And then this switch here, or flag, or whatever you want to call it, this dash capital C, will redirect the contents into that folder that I just created. Okay, so tilde is for home. Okay, and then Flatpak. Okay, good. Everything looks good here. Take a look at it. Okay, we're going to use sudo, and we're going to pass that. Actually, you know what? That's not correct. Got a little ahead of myself. I need to actually provide the name of the file here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Okay, now that's better. You need that. Okay, now it's complete. Yes, that's fine now. You need the archive file. Okay, so sudo tar, and then a couple of flags here: extract, verbose, and the file name that we're gonna telling it that we're gonna pass a file into it, which is this right here: Flatpak 1.16 tar.xz. This is the compression. This last extension here is xz. It's the compression algorithm that's being used. And tar just means that it's an archive full of other files and folders and whatnot. Okay, so this archive file here gets passed into tar, and then these flags here get used. So you'll see verbose means you'll get some output to the screen. Extract, X means it's going to extract as opposed to create, and I think F is for file, so you're telling it you're going to pass it a file or whatnot. I don't think we need a fourth switch here or flag for the compression. I think that these three right here will cover our needs. Okay, and then it's going to redirect the Normally we'll just dump everything here into this download folder, either dump them loosely or into whatever folder that it comes with. But I like to kind of do it this way, where I create my own folder. There'll be two folders, but I just feel it's better organization this way by just creating a custom folder and then extracting to there. Okay, so home Flatpak is what we created. Okay, so once we're all staged up here, enter on that. Okay, that was pretty good. No errors. I'm not going to scroll up and down. I think we're... take a quick little look. Yeah, you don't need to go through all this, I don't think. There's a lot of output here, a lot of verbose out. The V flag is what provides all this output here, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. So I'm going to wheel down to the end here. Okay, that went good. Clear on that. And the tar file still sits in the download folder, but the extracted contents are going to be elsewhere. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cd into that Flatpak folder, and we'll take a look. And then this is the folder that it actually shipped with. This 1.16. This is the folder it actually shipped with. So Flatpak is what we created, and then you have this subfolder. So we're going to CD into that. That's where the contents will be. Okay? Okay, so now we're into the meat of the matter here. You can go ahead and clear on that. Do an LSA, and you can see some of the, you can see all the contents actually. Okay? You might get a little bit confused at this point, but I've done the homework, so I know what I have to do once I've extracted and CD'd into the contents here. Okay, we're gonna. The one I want you to focus on is Meson. So it's going to use Meson. You don't see Ninja here, but it's going to use Meson and Ninja build tools. Meson to do some building, and then Ninja will actually, I think, will do the installation. Okay. Okay, so at this point, we're all staged up there. Okay, that's good. Now, if you don't already have them installed, you need to install a couple more dependencies, Meson and Ninja. So while you're in this same this Flatpak folder here, use a standard apt install command here. Okay, and if you don't, I already have them, so it's gonna just say, you know, I already have the newest versions. Okay, so you know, I already did it before, so I'm all squared away as far as that's concerned. So these two right here you need, Meson and Ninja. Okay, let's see what happens here when I enter on that. It should say they're already the newest installed. Yeah, okay. Meson's already the newest, and Ninja's already the newest, and so is Meson. Yeah, okay, Meson and Ninja have already been installed, so I'm good to go there. So I'm all ready to start building and installing. I'm not sure if it's actually like compiling from source or some kind of a build process. I'm not sure if there's like a real difference there, but there's no already pre-built binary in this archive, so we do have to do some building and some installing. Okay, there's no shell script or anything like that. Okay, so we're clear on that. Then we're going to run a few more commands here while we're in this Flatpak folder here. Okay, so I'm gonna use Meson. Okay, Meson, and I'm gonna go ahead and create a build folder here. So Meson's going to create a build folder with this command here. Meson setup build. Build is going to be a folder we're going to CD into once Meson sets up, whatever build tools that need to go into this folder here. Okay, so enter on that. Okay, that looks pretty good. It created this build folder and it put some content into the build folder. Okay, so we can go ahead and clear on that. You can actually take a look at the build folder. This wasn't here. We didn't check it before, but I don't think it was here before. CD build. So build. This wasn't here before. This is what Meson just created right now. This build folder here. Okay, so we can go ahead and the next step is actually going to CD into that build folder. Okay, and then I can clear on that. And let's take a quick little look and see what's in here. Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of Meson stuff, and we don't need to get into all the ins and outs about what Meson just put in here. But this is what Meson put in that build folder here. Okay, good. Okay, so we can clear on that, and then we're going to run Ninja. And Ninja is going to actually, I do believe, is going to be doing like the actual building or compiling of the code needed to actually create the Flatpak binary, and then Ninja will actually go ahead and install the binary once it's compiled it and built it and whatnot. Okay, so Ninja command at this point here. I know it says 290, but it goes pretty quick, so I'll keep the video going. Shouldn't be too long. I did it before and it didn't take long. No errors. Just have to wait a minute or so for it to complete. Okay. Bear with me for a moment. As you can, it's good to see actually what's going on. So it's compiling actually. There's compilation going on, and I think it's using the GCC compiler. Okay, so it's actually compiling. Even though the file didn't say it was a source code file, a tar file, but I guess there's source code in here that we actually are compiling from. I was hoping to get some kind of a pre-compiled binary and install it that way, but I guess I wound up compiling it and installing it manually. Okay, good. That looks good. No errors that jump out at me. You can go read this on your own time later, but everything was good to that point. So Ninja did its job as far as building and compiling the binary. I believe that's the step that we just did right there, was building and compiling the binary. And there's one more step with Ninja, which will actually install. Let's see, Ninja install. Okay, sudo Ninja install, and that will actually install whatever it just created. I would imagine the term would be that it built and compiled the binary. Now it's going to install the binary. Okay. Okay, so let's see what happens when I enter on that. Okay, that's pretty good. Again, I don't need to really get into it. There's a lot of output here, but it seems like it was error-free, so I'm good to go to this point here. So we'll clear on that. So at this point, Flatpak has been installed, and we just have a couple more things to do to finish it off, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and CD back to my home folder here. Okay? Clear on that. And check a couple more things to make sure that we have Flatpak 1.16 installed. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the which command at this point, and I'm going to see where that binary was installed. Okay, so this is the path where the Flatpak binary was installed by Ninja. User local bin Flatpak. Okay, now let's make sure that this path is on the actual path variable, so we can actually access the Flatpak command line engine from the terminal. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna echo out the value in the path variable here. Okay, and I'm gonna see if that path user local bin is actually on the path variable. Okay. Here's all the paths that are on the path variable, and I'm looking for user local bin. User local bin right here, okay? So this path is on the path variable, and that means I should be able to access Flatpak binary in the terminal with the Flatpak command line keyword. Okay? Okay, good. So one more thing to do, actually, and that'll pretty much be about it. Let's check the version. Now, I did show you before it was 1.14. This should be 1.16. And that's where I want to be. Okay, 1.16. 1.14 is still on here. And then you have to go through, and I think you can... I'd have to get documentation to see how to kind of toggle back and forth and which one to make the default. But at this point, I think the 1.16 is the default. And I think that this 1.16 is actually more... I think it's more for the user, more user scope, because it was local, and I think the 1.14 was more global in scope. So the 1.14 I believe is global, and the 1.16 is local. But either way, we have 1.16 installed for the user that I'm logged in as, at least. Okay. So yeah, that was how to install Flatpak command line engine 1.16.1 on Pop! OS Linux 22.04. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to my fast fetch screen as I close the video out. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and key it in. I have a lot of commands there. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, so that was how to install the newly released Flatpak command line engine 1.16.1 on Pop! OS Linux 22.04. Once again, I am Paul, and I am the lead research technician here at the How to Linux Research Labs, and I'm also the administrator of the Pop! OS Linux Facebook group on Facebook. Please join. I allow discussion on different distros, tech news, tech personalities. I allow a wide variety of different topics, not just limited to Pop! And Linux. So so at this point I want to thank you for subbing and watching my video. I look forward to your likes and your comments on my video. And until my next video, happy Linuxing.